Well, hi and welcome to Jim's Radio Shop, where I'm continuing on this Philco 91X radio, and I just finished watching a fantastic video by Joernone. Fantastic video on this guy, the shadow meter, and this is the first one I've ever encountered. I've never seen one before, so fantastic video. I'm encouraged to take a look at this. It's kind of a neat feature, of course. And this particular radio, the leads to it have been cut and taped up and done a long time ago. And I don't see the rest of the wires. They appear to be gone. In this one, there's a bracket that fixes the light bulb with respect to the shadow meter and the slot at the back that the light goes in. And I really don't want to cut these wires. They're very stiff. I like to just leave that as it can be. You know what? Well, let's see what we can do without taking this right off the radio. I'm going to loosen it up with these screws. See how far we can get and leave it as connected together as possible. Now, I think I mentioned earlier that what I'm doing is not really restoring this radio, I'm repairing it. And it's a very different process. You don't go nearly as far with it in terms of stripping it down and the like. And this is not my radio, this is somebody else's radio. And I just can't have a field day with it. I have to be a little bit cautious. If I were to destroy it, like for instance drop it on the floor, well, it would not be a minor event, let's put it that way. Okay, so I think someone's had this apart before, because one screw came off with a lock washer and the other screw just came off with no lock washer. Okay, so that loosens it up. We can turn it back. You can see the tabs. Some of them are already broken. This one's broken, this one's broken. So somebody's already been at this guy. Oh my gosh, now another one's broken. So I have the feeling we'll be not using these tabs to put this back together. Let's pull this one up. Oh, it's gone too. And if we just pull this a bit. There we go. I'm going to have to bend this one up a little bit more. Oh, there goes one down into the radio, of course. Right into the veins of the capacitor. Just to add a little bit of insult to injury here. I don't want to put that up too high. That should be enough. Nope. When you get a radio this old, you really don't know what its history is. I have the feeling I'm certainly not the first person to do this. Come on, little guy. Stubborn. There we go. There's the vein. It's probably a little hard to see. There it is. And this has got to be the magnet here. Yeah, I can feel some magnetism. Okay, with it in that position, we can test this guy. There is some magnetism in it. Why would somebody disable this and write it off? This is cloth tape. It's not electrical tape. It's probably really old. And that's good. This can kind of sit right over here like this. There's the wires. I'm not going to fiddle with this top part. What a crazy idea, eh? So I guess during normal operation, this is over, causing a large shadow on the screen. And then as the signal increases, it straightens up like it is now, when you get a very small shadow, or I guess ideally no shadow at all. And the vein here has been, I can tell from its dimensions, you know. This end is closer to the light than this end, so they made this end smaller than this end, so it'll cast the same shadow. That's pretty neat. I suppose it's pretty hard to see these things under bright light, though. You have to be in a fairly dark room to see it operate. Now, Joernone was putting a 9-volt battery onto his to test it. I'm gonna have to strip part of the wires back here. There's no other point of contact. I have to do that anyway, sooner or later, to make a better connection. Might as well do it now. Don't like fiddling around with brittle wires, but that's par for the course. See, I separated the insulation, but it won't slide off because it's fused into the wire. There we go. There we go. Actually, it came off pretty good. It's a solid single strand wire in there. Let's try this one. One of these is red and one is black. It's just a coil in there. I'm pretty sure if we supply the power in a reverse way from where it's really intended, all that'll happen is the vein will just swing the other way. I don't think it makes any difference in terms of injuring the device. 9-volt battery, I happen to have one. I have one right here. Perhaps Joernone's may have been a half-dead battery. 9 volts seems a little high to me. But let me just check my... I think this is a good battery. 9 volts. So this is a good battery. We'll just tap it quickly. See if that thing jumps. Here we go. Don't see a thing at all. So let's check the continuity on it. Certainly it's strange that the lead wires are completely gone. Now maybe they're down in the radio, coiled up somewhere. Or maybe the guy who did it cut them right back. So they're totally gone from the radio, which means I got to figure out where these connections actually come from at some point. Okay, so there we go. Let's give it a shot. Well, no continuity, so it's got a failed coil in it. Yikes. I saw what had to be done on the video I watched. Because Joernone accidentally introduced a fault in the coil, and then he had to correct it. And off camera, he did it. It's pretty microscopic stuff, so and we shouldn't stop here. So I'm going to pull these tangs up. They're a little better. I feel like they haven't been worked. I'm kind of jumping ahead to this, you know. I haven't done the rest of the work on the radio yet, even though it's working. It needs a check of the coupling capacitors and bypass capacitors. And wait a minute. Wait 1 second here. This is a continuous piece of metal. How did they do that? There's no seam on it. Now, how do you make a piece of metal into a square box on 3 sides? That's curious. Oh, there is a seam. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's your basic cardboard box arrangement here with flaps. This is one of the flaps. I'm gonna, you know, see, there's some tabs down in there. I could release the box off the top. Oh boy. Okay, I see exactly why nobody would want to repair this. Ay, 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 ay. Ah, man. This is definitely not meant to be repaired. Got rivets in it here. Oh boy. Yeah, let's see. If I get in there with the screwdrivers, this very delicate mechanism here is at risk. And wow, the angles are not terribly good. Okay, so we've gone this far. Let's fold this guy up a little further. Anybody yelling, "Don't do it" at me? Wow, I almost broke that. Wow. Good thing about this is, you know, it's not working now, so if it's not working later, not too much difference. It's reasonable to tell the customer that who doesn't have unlimited funds, that some things are just, you know, beyond repair. And that's a piece of insulating paper. I'm pretty sure. Very stiff, dried up paper. And there's the coil in there. Yeah, I'm not getting access to that. Wow. You know, there's a really good chance that the failure in this coil is not a mechanical failure, but it's actually a burned up wire somewhere inside the coil. Not going to be able to do much about that. Yeah, I may want to stop right here and just go think about this for a bit before I go any further with it. There's no doubt I'll have to remove this whole top piece. Now, Joe's was a little bit of a newer model. I think his was a 1936, and this is a 1932. This is an earlier version of it. Yeah, I could just desolder these wires easy enough. Free this whole thing up to work on it. But I think I better go ponder this a little bit before I go any further. Yeah. Put these screws back in the bracket. The bracket doesn't look right either. It's not all nice right angles like you might expect. Yeah, I better ponder this. We, as a matter of policy, anytime I'm working on somebody's radio and there is a component that we work on unsuccessfully or we ruin, which doesn't happen with any kind of frequency at all, but anything that happens, we tell the customer what has occurred to his radio. Honesty being the best policy all the time. Most people are very understanding. They're happy if you have any success with what they think inside is pretty much an impossible task. So, a little disappointing at this point, because it would be really cool to have a shadow meter working. And maybe there's some more hints on the internet, or maybe some of you might even have some words of caution, guidance, ideas on what I should try doing. What are those? Yeah, those rivets are holding the magnet, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're lined right up. There's the bottom of the rivets there. So I don't have to fool with rivets. I would have to bend those 3 tangs. I'm sure you can't see this because everything is black inside here, as I guess it should be. Ooh, boy, that's too bad. But I think I'll leave it right there and think some more about this before I go any further. Thanks a lot for watching.